Hello, hello. So today is the 25th of March 2026, but in the Chinese calendar it is Moon 2, Day 7. So today is a slight continuation from yesterday. Yesterday was more about the sacred mountains, more particularly about the five sacred mountains. There are actually lots of different, there's many, many mountains in China. But the five sacred mountains were to do with the north, which was the permanent, the south, which was the balanced, I think it was, if I remember, and then the east was the tranquil, and the west was the something like vibrant or in those lines, the splendid mountain. Yeah. So we go a little bit into that, and then we go a little bit further. But today we are looking at the act of pilgrimage. So as always, my name is Ollie. This is Red Sun Horizons. I'm an Eastern physiotherapist practitioner from the south of England, South Sea Portsmouth, UK. So this is a look at every single day of each day of the lunar calendar as it runs through the Chinese version of the lunar calendar. And this is using as a prompt the Lunar Tao by Deng Ming Dao, taking some excerpts from the Tao Te Ching and really just giving any kind of tips and tricks, etc., from my wheelhouse of acupuncture, acupressure, Thai, Tuina, etc., all the stuff, and Taoist stones, crystals, etc., all the stuff that kind of I have done over the years, Tai Chi, Dao Yin, that have their roots in Taoism. So I'm not actually a Taoist, but it just happens that most of the stuff that I've done has always come from China and had its roots in Taoism. Okay, so we'll go straight into some of the pilgrimage places in China. So yes, I just mentioned again the five mountains: the northeast, southwest, and central. And the central one, I don't think I just mentioned is called the Lofty Mountain. But anyway, so the five sacred mountains is those, and then you also have some other places of pilgrimage in China, which are you have the three great mountains of the Orthodox one sect. That's the Longhushan, the Maoshan, and the Gezaoshan. Sorry. Okay. The three great ancestral palaces of the Complete Perfection sect. That's a mouthful. Which is the Yongle Palace, the Chongyan Palace, and the Baiyun Guan. You have the Longevity Palace of the Pure Brightness sect. Pure Brightness they've translated as Jingming or Jingming. Yeah. So Jing is when we say pure brightness in a sense. Jingming is referring to Longevity Palace. So Jing is longevity. Jing is what you're born with. It's your DNA. It's your life expectancy that you can maintain or shorten given how you treat your body throughout your life. That's your prenatal Jing and your postnatal Jing. Your postnatal Jing is very much that. Your prenatal Jing is what you are born with. So someone with a Jing deficiency could be born with some kind of skeletal issue, could be born with Down syndrome, could be born with some kind of spasticity, that kind of stuff, or just really struggle have a very low IQ if that's a real valuable measurement of things. But effectively, someone who just really struggles and is seen to have a disability of some description. Okay, so and then Ming means bright. And we also talk about Ming in the sense of the Yang Ming. So it's one of the Yang channels, which is Ming. It's called the brightest Yang, and that's generally referring to the large intestine channel in the arms or the stomach channel in the legs. Ming, literally in that sense, was taken from the Ming Dynasty. So the Ming Dynasty was a time of like great wealth, and there was lots of gold and so it was seen to be a bright time. And that's where they've taken the word bright from. Okay, so you also have the Singing Crane Mountain, Hemengshan, associated with the Jiang Daoling, yeah, there you go, and the Five Pecks of Rice School. So Wudao Mudao, there you go, yes. Okay, and then the last one is the one I mentioned yesterday, which is Wudan Mountain, which is all the Tai Chi, Xingyi, Bagua, etc. Very much in martial arts. So Wudangshan, Hubei, home of Taoist martial arts, and the North god Zhenwu. Yeah, there is one more. Laoshan, Shandong, the dwelling place of the immortals. Okay, so those are some places of pilgrimage in China, but the subject itself today is pilgrimage itself. So, reading through, I'm going to take 3 little excerpts from the entire thing, but it kind of just occurred to me that kind of pilgrimage, if you're not in a religious thing, a gap year, when people take a gap year between college and university, or in America, between school and college, because same thing, different names. Yeah, a gap year is very much that. So a gap year is described as each pilgrimage, or a pilgrimage is described as each pilgrimage is a circle we travel to return transformed. So each pilgrimage is a circle that we travel to return transformed. So yes, gap year is very much that, in the sense of people going. A very common one is going to somewhere like Thailand. They go off to find themselves. Yeah, but obviously it's a way of like going to another country, completely throwing yourself into the middle of, you know, a foreign land, and learning stuff about yourself by putting yourselves in those predicaments and making mistakes effectively. But obviously at the same time, a lot of people just get hammered. So okay, but we are talking about pilgrimage. So we're talking pilgrimage more specifically now from the Taoist tradition in that sense, but also as a human right in that sense. So we may also go on a personal pilgrimage to places where a poet, musician, or artist once lived, to pay our respects to a historical battlefield, to stand where a famous peace activist once stood, or to simply see what the first explorer must have seen. The key to pilgrimage is to embark on a trip with a heightened intention. We are not just tourists. We're going to honor someone or something. By honoring what is sacred to us, we make it more real in our lives, and we join it. So, finding something sacred in our lives, traveling there in devotion and commitment, humbling ourselves, sharing the experience with others, and coming back transformed. All these are human expressions, human necessities. Pilgrimage is spiritual human migration. A sacred place makes us sacred. So, none of that is from any kind of like historical text. That is purely the wording of Deng Mingdao themselves. It is an amazing book, I think, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, but the way they write often outshines stuff from the Tao Te Ching itself. It's, or other Chinese scripts. Obviously, when we're talking about the Tao Te Ching, we are still talking about translations, who has translated it, and there are different translations of the Tao Te Ching. This one is by Stephen Mitchell, and I did mark off this as well as something to read, and it's kind of just bled nicely into that part. So, Lao Tzu, depending on how you pronounce it. So Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, i.e. the Book of the Way, is a timeless guide to the art of living. Its central figure, the master is not an actual person, and the master is effectively sometimes described as male, sometimes described as female, or neither. But it's purely just a reference to the person who is living in accordance with the Tao and deliberately, and etc. And it's got prolifically good at it. Okay, so Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, i.e. the Book of the Way, is a timeless guide to the art of living. Its central figure, the master, lives in harmony with the Tao, the irreducible essence of the universe. Surrendering to it as the master teaches, we feel whole. Emptying ourselves of judgment and desire, we discover universal truths within. Without wanting, we find peace. If we let go of what we love, our love becomes present. Okay, So that last bit, if we let go of what we love, our love becomes present. So it's the difference between compassion, love, and attachment, I suppose, would be the thing there. So I am pretty much going to leave it there because we have just hit the 10-minute mark. I did have another one marked off, but it's surplus to requirement, I think. So that is everything done for today. So with that first little bit, that was the poem that continues through page by page as well. Each pilgrimage is a circle. We travel to return transformed. Following on from that, even if we face stress and mutilation each day. So yeah, so tomorrow's subject is titled Greater Than Shame. So yeah, very different. That is everything done for today. I will see you tomorrow.